many great haters in the land of fiction. Dio, Frieza, the Reverse Flash. He's on another level of hating that I can't get into right now. But today, I'm here to talk about a hater that even the devil, D-E-V-I-L, shook on his fiery throne. A hater that dedicated his life to being a menace to society. That hater is none other than Colonel H. Stinkmeaner.
Round 1, fight!
Huey begins the episode by describing a Chicago-based moment, and your girl Tunes will educate you on what a N-word moment is. Can't say it too much because I don't know how Daddy YouTube will feel about it. Love you, Daddy YouTube. A ninja moment is any violent altercation between two or more black men about insignificant or foolish things, referring to as a ninja moment. It is the main plot device of the Boondocks multi-episode story arc, which centers on the blood feud between Stinkmeaner and Granddad. But for some weird reason, any effort to lure in white guys into a ninja moment, however, will be ignored.
What did you... Wait a minute. I'm white.
So we see Granddad walking out the mall. He just got some brand new, crisp, white, fresh out the box Air Force Ones. However, he was unprepared for what was coming as he made his way to the car. The world's greatest hater, Colonel H. Stinkmeaner, is approaching. Stinkmeaner was raised as a hater. I don't know who taught him, either his mama, his daddy, or was self-taught. He detested all things peaceful as a youth, and his hatred was so strong that the only time he felt joy was when he lost his sight due to cancer. To be honest, the doctor, he was being completely honest. He was like, hey yo bro, you got like a good hot 3 years to live, so do you, I guess. And taking the doctor's advice, Stinkmeaner then dedicated those last 3 years of his life to being an absolute menace to everyone and everything, no regards to who they are, what they are, and where they came from. If you are in my way, I'm gonna get you. However, despite being blind, this man managed to live to be a senior citizen, and for some reason is behind the wheel of a car? Absolutely not. Everyone from motor vehicles should be arrested and imprisoned for granting him a license. Wait, now that I think about it, can people who are legally blind drive?
Bitch, no.
The obvious answer would be no. However, in several states, drivers with vision around the 20/70 point in a reasonably decent field of vision are permitted to drive, and the Boondocks is centered in the state of Maryland. And I just researched on the maryland.gov site for motor vehicles. People who are legally blind can obtain a restricted driver's license under the modified vision program. If a driver is legally blind in one eye, they can still get a driving privilege, but not an unrestricted driver's license. So I guess Stinkmeaner is in the right to drive despite being blind. Anyway, back to the beginning of the moment. Granddad is in Stinkmeaner's parking spot without realizing it, because when Stinkmeaner pulls up, he whips that hole and goes in reverse and strikes Robin's car. Her name is Miss Dorothy, by the way. And keep in mind, Stinkmeaner is legally blind, so he keeps backing that ass up on Robin's car until he stops and reflects. I know damn well nobody's in my spot. This is the handicap spot. Stinkmeaner gets out and starts going off on Granddad. Who the hell parked in my parking space? That's like calling 1-800 whooping ass. So Granddad looking him up and down was like, yo bro, are you blind? Yes, I am. What you gonna do about it, nigga? You got a problem with that, nigga? And just like that, Granddad is now locked in a moment. He then informed Robert that he better have insurance when Robert asks for it. What you mean I gotta give you insurance? You just backed into my car. Now, what Stinkmeaner does next is diabolical. He takes a whiff of the air. Like he's some type of bloodhound. Smell new shoes. Do you realize how rude and disrespectful it is to stomp on somebody else's brand new, fresh, crisp Air Force Ones?
So what's your sentence for her?
Electric chair.
And leave a black stain mark? It's one thing if it's by accident, but on purpose? You do know people have been killed for actions like this, right?
Developing story in spring, the search for the man accused of shooting and killing another man after a fight over shoes.
This morning, we are getting a look at the suspect, Ja'Cory Rogers.
The victim has been identified as Darius Flournoy.
Ooh, I would have been so heated because do y'all not know how much the average Air Force costs? That's like $100 to $130 right there. Yeah, nigga. They ain't fresh and brand new no more. And like any other reasonable crash out, Robert is going to beat that ass. He goes for a wide swing, but Stinkmeaner easily weaves out the way, and Robert falls onto the ground while Stinkmeaner beats that ass with his walking stick. Oh no, not on his bad knee too, and he fell on his back. Ooh. Instead of helping his grandfather like Huey did, Riley is roasting him on how a blind man is beating his ass. As a result, everyone is dragging Robert after the fight since Stinkmeaner beat that ass. A Boondocks episode wouldn't be the same without Uncle Ruckus's unnecessary 2 cents.
I see you, Robert. You got your ass beat by a blind monkey.
I hope I don't get demonetized. What's even more embarrassing, he makes a feature on the CNN National News Channel. Can you imagine if social media like TikTok was there? Robert would have been dragged internationally.
El residente de Woodcrest, Robert Freeman, tiene un nuevo apodo. Señor Piñata.
Robert, humiliated and frustrated, wants to get his get back as Stinkmeaner, and so he begins his training arc with Huey. And speaking of Huey, for some reason, he got this idea in his head that Stinkmeaner is some type of blind ninja warrior assassin. It's the night of the fight, and Riley, forever being a hustler, can't be mad at that, organized this event. Stinkmeaner pulls up and immediately starts talking his ish, swinging his walking stick back and forth like, hello? He's right there. Huey has a oh shit moment and eventually understands that Stinkmeaner was no martial artist assassin, but a blind old man who got extremely lucky. Huey tries to warn his granddad, but Robert has red in his eyes and begins tearing that ass up. Granddad was so determined to get his lick back, he ended up sending Stinkmeaner to the afterlife, killing him before he hit the ground. I don't know why the audience looks so shocked. Y'all were rooting for these two old-ass men to kill each other, but now that it happened, y'all want to act surprised? You would think after this, it should be the end to the nigga moment, and the Freeman family no longer have to worry about Stinkmeaner. Girl, be so for real. We ain't even through the halfway point of the story yet.
But yo, not even death could stop a nigga moment.
I introduced to you all the return of Stinkmeaner and how he strikes back at Robert. If all of you believed Uncle Ruckus is the physical embodiment of self-hatred, then Stinkmeaner is the personification of the word hatred itself. Stinkmeaner is in the fiery pits of hell, beating the living daylights out of demons. The devil, who has a beautiful afro, by the way, I never peeked this the first time I watched it. Why does the devil have an afro? I'm not mad at it. It looks good on him. Anyway, sorry I got sidetracked. The devil recognizes Stinkmeaner and sends him back to exact revenge on Robert Freeman. Ooh, child, not the devil giving Stinkmeaner a free passage to the land of the living to pay back in blood. Now, we transition back on Earth in a parking lot with Tom, who just got caught in a moment. In a Danny Phantom move, Stinkmeaner takes over Tom's body, leaps into the air, and uses both feet to drop kick the man in the chest, leaving him flat on the ground and staring up at Tom in dread. Oh yeah, you were talking about that good shit a second ago, and now you got kicked in your chest. You eat a dick. You eat a dick. Please, somebody call an ambulance for this innocent civilian. Listen, this is his first time. Stinkmeaner is still learning how to gain master control. Tom is in court prepared to make a case, but I need to take a moment and explain what this old woman did. She assaulted a black man, took his car for a joyride, drove it through the mall with a giddy smile, and they alluded it's possibly the same black man Tom curb stomped back in the parking lot. Stinkmeaner takes possession of Tom once more.
What's good, nigga?
Stinkmeaner has now gained master control over Tom Dubois. Things start to get spooky-ooky as he takes Tom's body home and has lustful wolf eyes on his wife Sarah, and and Stinkmeaner smashes Tom's wife. Oh yeah, baby girl, I'm about to clap them cheeks. Oh my goodness, Tom, what's got into you? The same thing that's about to get into you. And Stinkmeaner picks up Sarah and claps them cheeks. And she's having a grand old time too. Oh yeah, I'm putting in this work. You want this cookie, right? While Stinkmeaner is putting Sarah's head through the ceiling, Granddad is on the toilet sexting random women. Next thing you know, we're in The Shining as Stinkmeaner pulls a "Hello, motherfucker." Granddad manages to escape Stinkmeaner with his thong around his ankles. Oh my god. Stinkmeaner then tosses the axe at Robert and he narrowly avoids it, and I just got flashed by old man balls. Stinkmeaner does a Destiny's Child, say my name.
Say my name, say my name.
What's my name?
Stinkmeaner.
What we see next is quite possibly the greatest fight scene in the Boondocks. Robert, Riley, and Huey using their own form of combat and ready to do a classic jumping.
Round 2. Fight.
As if it was easy mode, Stinkmeaner was over here tearing all three other asses up. Riley, having enough of this nonsense, used a lamp, a vase, and a geisha statue to strike Stinkmeaner in the back of his skull, knocking him the hell out, and they tie him up in Riley's bed. They do remember this is Tom's body still, right? Now, you would think after all this, Granddad would cancel his date, right? Nah, he's obviously thinking with his head, and I mean the one below his waist. Hey, when you're horny, you horny. Not even a demonic malicious spirit can stop that. So Robert's date pulls up at the door and they have a whole ass dinner date while having a possessed demon in the crib that's actively out to kill the family. When I tell y'all the kitty kitty meow meow purr purr can make any man do the most foolish of actions. The possessed Tom wakes up and starts hurling insult after insult at Robert. Robert Freeman, get your bitch ass up these stairs and fight me like a man, nigga. You got a date, Robert? Does she know you got a vagina and a pussy? Which is crazy when you think about it because both are the same. I mean, I guess a vagina would be the appropriate wording for the reproductive organ of a female, while pussy is more of an insult. Robert's date starts asking him questions like, what the hell is all that noise coming from upstairs? His date bounces, and get this, it's not because of an evil demonic spirit in the house, but because he lied to her about it. The fact that a possessed man didn't bother her, but the lying did. Now, to be fair, how was Granddad supposed to know she would have rocked with him still if he explained everything going on? I feel like any other woman would have dipped out at the mention of an evil spirit from hell coming back to exact vengeance against you and your entire family. To any and all women watching this, what would have been your reaction? To stay in help or dip the hell out? I'll wait. Robert, furious, calls on the one person who can help.
Who you gonna call?
Reverend Father Uncle Ruckus, no relation, as he is the only one capable of exorcising this demon that has great niggardry. My soul nearly exited my body. You cannot make this up. Uncle Ruckus then sets the most racially offensive weapons on the table. And I'm just thinking, how racist can you be by casually carrying around all this stuff? Ruckus gets up there, and upon seeing that Tom is under the influence of Stinkmeaner, he takes out a book and holds it up screaming, "Read! Read!" What in the Exorcist is going on here? Seeing how nothing else was working, everyone except Huey starts beating that ass for God knows how long. They continue to attack Stinkmeaner until Huey concluded that the only way to properly end a moment is with peace, when he used Ruckus's hatred of black people and Stinkmeaner's hatred of everyone to create peace, which sends Stinkmeaner back to hell. Now, once again, you would think, Tunes, this has to be the end of the moment. Girl, bye. You know that ain't it yet. There's still a couple minutes left in this video. So, in the final chapter of Stinkmeaner vs. Robert, I will explain to you how absolutely petty Stinkmeaner is. His hatred for Robert Jebediah Freeman is so deep, he utilized a clone to extend his moment from beyond the grave. And I'm sure all of you are confused as hell, like, what do you mean Stinkmeaner made a clone of himself? Now stay with me. Stinkmeaner made a clone of himself from a blackpeoplemeet.com site. The clone was left with instructions from the original reading, "Please go with Robert J. Freeman. Warm regards, OG Stinkmeaner." So we're getting deja vu from the first encounter with Stinkmeaner. Robert is leaving the mall. He notices that his car has been hit by someone else once more. This time he sees Stinkmeaner waiting to tell Robert that yeah, and what? He then challenges Robert to a rematch.
Final round. Fight.
Robert then turns to confront Stinkmeaner, but the clone Stinkmeaner turns out to be the real blind samurai Huey had dreamed about before, because he was dodging and weaving, making easy work of Granddad, and continues to beat his ass as everyone is watching and recording him.
Let him get up.
And once again, Granddad is getting dragged all across the internet, and everyone is talking about how Robert had his ass clapped again. By the same person, no less. Stinkmeaner is now a viral celebrity with many fans and supporters. He even got a comedy cooking show called Bad Bitches. So Stinkmeaner contacted Robert on Skype. Man, when does Skype come out?
God damn!
He's like, "Hey yo, Robert Freeman, if you ain't a bitch, you'll come meet me at the parking lot for a rematch, ho."
So Granddad begins his training with Yoda, question mark? Listen, out of all the seasons, the Boondocks 4th season isn't the best, not gonna lie. Granddad, being too old for this shit, calls the police, who then arrest Stinkmeaner in the parking lot. That plan failed because Onceler paid for his bail. Why? Why are you being unnecessarily messy? The only reason he did that was because he wants to arrange a pay-per-view boxing battle between him and Stinkmeaner. Isn't this considered elder abuse? So Granddad begins training again, but this time during his training session, he changes. Granddad unknowingly embraces the hate and dark side, and he turns into the same thing he was attempting to eradicate. And y'all, when I said that he embraced the dark side, he embraced it. Granddad was copying Stinkmeaner's hairstyle, mannerism, even down to his posture. On the night of the fight, Robert, who is now a clone of Stinkmeaner, beats the living hell out of him until Huey helps him snap out of it. And so Granddad looks at Stinkmeaner and tells him, "Hey listen bruh, we both too old for this, alright? You're not even a real Stinkmeaner, so you don't even have to do this. Can you please just leave me alone?" And surprisingly, the Stinkmeaner clone agrees. He even admits to himself and Robert, like, you know what? I don't even know you like that, so I don't even know why I'm trying to box you for real. 3 months go by. Stinkmeaner is still in Robert's life as he shows up on his sidewalk, shouting his name and saying he wants to have some quality time with him.
No ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am.
And now he just spends the rest of his days outside of the Freeman household to talk trash. The episode in Stinkmeaner's story arc comes to an end as he joyfully walks down the sidewalk singing Stinkmeaner Forever.
Stinkmeaner forever. Stinkmeaner forever. Stink.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the moment in the story of Colonel H. Mother Stinkmeaner, the OG Hall of Fame hater. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. And let me know if you want me to do more Boondocks episodes. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Stinkmeaner forever. Stinkmeaner forever. Stink. Mean. Stinkmeaner. Stinkmeaner forever. Forever, never, yeah. Stinkmeaner forever. Stink. Stink, 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 stink. S-T-I-N-K. Meaner. Stinkmeaner forever.